you ready to mark it down? Probably not. You don't look like the ready type, but okay. Here we go. Hi, hey, hello. Welcome to a Mark It Down production. My name is Anthony Jeselnik, and I am here to tell you all about Monday Night Raw. And oh boy, has my life changed in the last week and a half or so. Because oh boy, have we hit the big time here. Mark It Down. We are over 400 subscribers. We are so close to the magic number of 420 subscribers. And when we hit that number, two of us will do our Dynamite review stoned. But we won't tell you which two. Two of us will. Okay? Don't do drugs, kids. Unless you're cool. Or an adult. But anyway, Raw was something. It was a wrestling heavy show, you know. It very much was not a typical WWE show in that regard. Very, very match heavy, which isn't a bad thing. Not all the matches were like 5 stars or anything, but none of them were bad. And whew, isn't that refreshing? Yeah. So I don't want to waste too much time here, but I am. I'm going to monologue a little bit, or I'm just going to waste some time. I'm going to say real quick, ooh, scissor me daddy. Oh, scissor me daddy. I'm just saying that to, kill some time here and to say that I was at Grand Slam this past Wednesday, and everybody loves the Acclaim, but I love the Acclaim more than you do, and way longer than you have, okay? I don't mean to be a hipster about it, but I'm gonna be hipster about it. I was on the since day freaking one. But that being said, I will say this show, or that show, was great. But oh my God, Arthur Ashe, you suck. You are a beautiful, beautiful venue, and you are run so poorly. It's 2 years in a row. I have not had a good experience with the venue itself, not with the show. The show was great. Too long though, actually, so I do have an issue with the show. But this isn't about Dynamite specifically. But you know, just give me a second while I guilt the other people in the podcast for not being here. Hold on. Socials, blah blah blah. Okay, social media stuff then. But anyway, whatever. All that being said, doesn't matter because they Acclaimed are the tag team champions. But it was a WWE show. This is a Raw show. We're going to talk about Raw, which started off with the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, and I've had this conflict where I don't understand why Bianca has been a face this whole time. I like she was a heel almost her whole time in NXT, and now she's just a face her whole run in the main roster. But then I see kids, and I'm like, I get it. I get it. You have to. It just makes sense. And that's I've come to terms with that. And what's up? What's up, James? Is that James from the Mark It Down podcast, the 400 subscriber plus Mark It Down podcast, the super famous blazer wearing sunglass Sharon? You can borrow these if you want. Famous James. Oh my God, this is amazing. No, Eric, it's not sunny in here. We're just famous now, so I gotta look the part, you know. I got a blazer, I got my shades. I was gonna put a baseball cap on so people wouldn't recognize me, but this is the platform where they should recognize me, you know. So we're just famous now. Just this is the lifestyle we lead. Okay, do you have any idea how expensive this blazer was? I got it at Forever 21 on sale. But anyway. Bianca comes out and she's like, Bailey is too scared to fight her own battles, and she's out there with Alexa and Asuka because she's a smart babyface and isn't gonna get jumped in a 3-on-1 again, which fair enough. Took her a few too many weeks to learn that lesson, but we're gonna let that go. So Anyway, Bailey comes out and says, "Oh, Bianca, you're handpicked for this. You were meant to be this person. You were handed these opportunities where I had to work for everything. These girls had to work for everything. They weren't handed anything, even though Io was kind of a handpicked person in NXT, whereas Bianca wasn't, and Bailey definitely was a kind of a handpicked person in NXT. But you get the gist of it. And then says, "Oh, you succeeded because I wasn't there. Because as soon as I came back, I pinned you." Nice heel line, but Bianca, the smart babyface, rightfully responds that I beat you before you got injured. Multiple times. Every single time, pretty much. I won all of our feuds. So it's very nice that she remembers what happened a year ago. A little over a year ago. Look at that. A babyface who doesn't suffer from the Matt Riddle short-term memory loss, which Matt Riddle's the only one who has a good excuse for a short-term memory loss. And by the way, guys, if you're still here in the chat, I already promised everyone that two of us will do the Dynamite review stoned if we get to 420 subscribers. So we can draw straws for it later. But anyway, Bianca's like, let's have a ladder match at the pay-per-view because I beat you by hitting you with the ladder. No, sorry, Bailey asked for a ladder match. And Bianca's like, yeah, sounds good. You suck. I'm going to win. Let me fight your henchwoman now. And then we had Bailey, or no, Bianca, versus Io Sky. What a great name, am I right, guys? But anyway, fucking, this match was great. I'm positive they've had better matches in NXT, but just seeing him in the ring again was so nice. I know it was Io's first match when Damage Control or Bailey and the Huggers first came up, but it's nice it's nice to see them go at it. But Bianca wins clean, as she should. She takes out Bailey and the other Hugger by herself without the help of Asuka and Alexa, who didn't really do anything to help. And then just hits the KOD for the win. And that's good. Bianca should win this match. She is the champ. She is the top babyface, top wrestler, female wrestler in the company right now. Becky injured, and I don't know what the fuck Ronda's doing, but that's another loss for the tag champs. Dakota lost on SmackDown. We don't watch SmackDown. We don't talk about SmackDown here, but Sami Zayn's on it, so we pay a little bit of attention to it now. And now, you can't just give people tag titles and then pin them. So all the random people that like to show up once in a while in our comment sections to shit on AEW for shit, and just suck off WWE, which I love to praise them too because I like watching them still. But this is some Vince shit, and it's not changed with Triple H. He's still doing a lot of the same bad things. You can't just give someone a tag title and then have them lose every single singles match. Okay, I complain all the time about Dax never winning any fucking singles matches. What's even worse here, because these people were singles wrestlers up until very recently, whereas Dax has always been a tag wrestler for the past 8 fucking years. So, it's bad. But Bianca should beat Io, so I'm not really that mad about it. I'm mad about the fact that the match happened more so than the result of it, But, whatever. Bailey, I don't know what's going on here. Also, this made me realize what I've been saying for a few weeks now, that Bailey isn't as great a talker as I remember. Or she's maybe just not on her rhythm yet. Because her comebacks weren't that good. And, not in, a heel flustered way, and, maybe without Sasha to bounce off of, or without Michael Cole. You're not as good. Bailey needs Michael Cole. I think that's the problem. What a world we live in where Michael Cole is needed to make something better. But anyway, match was good. I don't want the tag champs to just lose just because they have the tag titles, But then after that, it was backstage with The Miz. He has his own low security. He calls them Miz Force. It's cute. He's in front of a bunch of Oilers stuff. There's a big statue of a guy that you just know is Dexter Lumis because he's a Scooby-Doo villain and not a serious character. So, of course that's going to be him. But we'll get to that later. That's not right now. Next up, Seth comes out and everyone sings his song, and it's great, and I love that they do it. I shouldn't like it because it's a heel pandering to the crowd, but as we said 2 weeks ago, it would make sense. Seth is the type of delusional heel that loves to have his ego fed, so the crowd doing that is something he would play into. So he doesn't really try to turn the crowd against him. He just will occasionally come to a point where the crowd and him disagree, and he can't understand why, because that's where the disconnect is, not in him just being like, you guys suck on. So that's good heel work. And he says that the fight pit is Matt Riddle's type of match, and I really thought he was going to say, but Matt Riddle's type of match is how he lights his blunts, and I feel like it was a real missed opportunity, and I would have gone for that. And speaking of blunts, when we hit 420 subscribers, two of us are going to do the Dynamite review stone, and I'm not going to tell you which two, but take your guess. Probably not going to be me. But anyway, blah, blah, blah. And then he says he's going to beat Rey Mysterio like Rey should have beat his kid. And how is Seth the heel here? How is Seth the heel here and not the terrible dad who's letting his kid fucking run amok and terrorize the crowd in his nerdy James Dean gimmick? I don't know what he is. He looks like an NPC in the Mafia video games. Like, I don't know. But anyway, they had a great match. I never want to see these two wrestle again. Ever again. Never, ever, ever again. I never want to see them wrestle again. They've wrestled way too much. The first time they wrestled 2 years ago, remember how exciting that was? Remember how fun it was? Like, Ray versus Seth. It just makes so much sense on paper. Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm sick of it. I am so sick of it. You know what? I don't care how many years have passed. You can't take someone's eye out and then just wrestle a normal match. Like, I don't care how much you've moved on. I don't care how much you're upset with your son and torn about that. This man popped your eye out to win the match, where that was the rules of the match. You don't let that shit go. You have to murder him, right? Like, call Dexter Loomis, ask for some fucking tips. Like, what? I never want to see these two interact again. They shouldn't even be on the same roster. Dominic shouldn't be on any roster. That dude should be fired, but that's whatever. We could at least laugh at it. So we're letting it slide for now. And it's making Rhea somehow. Dom is so lame that he's somehow making the coolest fuck Rhea Ripley even cooler. It doesn't make any sense, but that's the world we live in. Anyway, I'm going to skip a lot of backstage stuff because I was fast forwarding, because that's still the name of this show, by the way. Even though we're live and it's not going to be as fast and as forward as it normally is. But after this, we had the Alpha Academy versus Panda Express. And oh man, James, how cool would this have been if Braun Strowman didn't fucking squash these guys and ruin them the past 2 weeks, The fact that Panda Express let them get so much offense makes them look a little weak when Braun has just been fucking dicing them up. Handicap, 1-on-1, 2-on-1, religiously since he came back. But the match, once again, fantastic, or not fantastic, but really good, fun match. So far, we've just had 3 fun matches. One I never want to see again. One is ruined by circumstances outside of the match and outside of the story. It's interesting that Alpha Academy is our Theory's henchman. They used to be Kevin Owens' henchman. I wish more was, said with that. But they're also feuding with Braun on SmackDown. It's weird. It's good they're on TV so much because they're fantastic. But them being buried by Braun has really ruined their narrative in particular. But the match was great. Gargano looked like a chump. He barely got in the offense, and even though he got the win, he looked like I don't agree with Eric, per se, about Gargano getting limp reactions, but here it definitely was. This crowd, for a Canadian crowd, was like a step above mid. They were good, but I expect more from Canada, Like, if we're grading this on a scale appropriate to the location, you were mid. Canada. You're a mid-tier Canadian crowd, and that's upsetting. But Kevin Owens is so good. He is unbelievable right now. He is operating on another level, and this was him relaxed. This was a chill night for Owens. Didn't even go that crazy. only took a weak table spot compared to if this was any other night. He's jumping off a 20-foot ladder into that table spot. So we'll take it. But yeah, this match was great. I just wish the circumstances around it were different. But you know, Gargano's fantastic. Gable's fantastic. Owens is on another level, and Otis is still pretty damn good. You know, he's survived a lot of character assassination. So good on you, Otis. Who the fuck was your partner's name? TK. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that was the backstage segment. This is the only one of the only ones I'm going to talk about where Gargano was with, Theory was with Gable and Otis talking about Gargano, and he wanted revenge on Gargano, and for some reason, Braun Strowman calls Austin Theory to speak to Chad Gable, and like I don't know, just think about that for a second, just pull yourself out of that situation for a second, and just think of how stupid that sounds, but like it's funny to me, like this dude called Theory either watching the show live to be like, okay, he's with him, I'm gonna call him, or just hoping. They're like, oh, I hope this guy's with him. Why does he have Theory's number but not Gable's? Why couldn't he get Gable's number? You know, like I don't know. Maybe it's because Theory is the guy that's always his phone in his hand because he's a fucking Gen Z / millennial. I don't know. I think he's supposed to be Gen Z, but he looks like a millennial because even though he looks young, he also looks 30 at the same time. Like, you know, I don't know. But I just thought it was funny because it was stupid. It's like, I got a kick out of it. It was good. Especially because on the phone, Braun sounds so stupid. Oh my God. And not in like how he normally sounds stupid in the things he says, but like it just in the way his voice sounded over the phone. He was like, I swear to God, I thought he was doing a Vince impression at first. And he was like, Gable, I'm going to beat you in your hometown of wherever the fuck you're from next week. But Gable was fantastic. Yeah, he was like, shush, please, shush, please. Great stuff by Gable. He sold it. Look at his face was great. Stupid segment, but I got a kick out of it. I enjoyed it for little reasons. One stupid, one good on Gable's facial reactions and everything. But yeah, that was good. And then Miz was assaulted because he's found that his security, the Miz Force, as they were all taken out backstage. And then, like I said earlier, Loomis was the hockey player statue. And the crowd just chanted for the Oilers, which, that's cool. Sports teams, much like wrestlers back in the 90s, sometimes they're just named after occupations, you know? And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I would go cheer for the Carolina mailmen, you know? Like, that's okay. But yeah, Loomis is goofy, and if you just, you know, treat him like a guy doing a podcast at 11 o'clock at night in sunglasses, and, you know, don't take it too seriously, you can enjoy it. I still think he's molesting Miz, you know? And we're cheering that, and that feels wrong. I feel like if this was the Attitude Era, he for sure is molesting Miz, and we're supposed to cheer him. So, I don't know. I don't know how to get out of this, honestly. I feel like I've dug a quick little hole that I wasn't prepared to climb out of, especially because I don't want to get my blazer dirty. My sunglasses are already dirty, but hopefully you can't see that. But anyway, yeah, I agree, James. Gable is fantastic. And yeah, I know it's Tucker Night. You know, it's funny that he has those initials. But anyway, after that, I stopped taking notes. This is a problem I have when I do these, is that I'm fast forwarding so much that I just stop taking notes after a while because I'm tired and I want to go to bed. But I get a second burst of energy when I start doing this. But after this, Candice LeRae returned. Joanna wrestling herself. Candice took on Nikki ASH, and she won. Be weird if she didn't, right? Glad she's back. she probably went to the right place, but I actually don't know now because I think WWE's women's division right now suffers a little bit from the problems that AEW like men's division suffers from. It's like you're bringing this name in or you bring this name back, but then what are they gonna do? And like, what is Candice gonna do? She can't challenge Bianca. She's nowhere near Bianca's level in WWE and kayfabe, and maybe even in star power in general. But her husband's there, so of course she's gonna go back. But her in AEW is one of the few where I was like, that would make sense. Like she fits there, and I didn't get to talk about it because I was there, I'm not sure what Rev and Nick said about Saraya or Saraya, if you will. I'll say Saraya because I think that's how it's said. Uh, I think it's a huge fucking deal. I think it's fantastic. I think it gives me a lot of faith in the women's division. That return has over 1 million views after 2 days. I think Saraya is going to be an actual draw for the women's division, the first real draw for the women's division besides Jade. Which again, I don't know how can Jade be a draw when she's on TV for 4 minutes? Like, how are you gonna know to switch over when it's over before you know it? But anyway, who is Ronnie? I know who you mean, but like, Fallen in Reverse is a garbage band for garbage people. This is like, I love Paige, but I'll shit on her boyfriend's band, until the cows come home, and I don't live near a farm. The same way where I love Beth Phoenix, and I will praise her, again, until the cows come home, but I'll shit on Natalia forever and ever and ever, even though me doing that would ruin any chance I have of interviewing these people, because they're like, you're saying mean things about my friend or my boyfriend. But, no, first of all, damn well Nick Maniotis knows who Fallen in Reverse is. And unfortunately, way too many people I know do. Escape the Fate, they got 2 good songs that I like, but still, piece of shit human, you're a piece of shit human. And that's fine. Maybe we'll edit Ronnie Radcliffe diss into your rap, James. I don't know. I don't know if you could swing that creatively if you're already set on what you have, but I'm happy Candice is back. I think she's one of the few people that would have fit in. I don't know what you mean about Never Stop Me with Jeff. I don't know. I don't really. Oh, I like Matt, but I don't like Jeff. Yeah, but I don't like Matt that much, I just think he's the obviously better of the two. But yeah, Candice could have gone to another company. Her being back here is cool. No matter where she showed up, it'd be cool. But it makes sense. She wants to be with her husband and her dad, Triple H, which is fair. A lot of nepotism running around. Why wouldn't you want to get your share of it? Get a little piece of that nepotism, baby. We understand. We all get it. Anyway, I stopped taking notes after that, but I'm pretty sure it was just the last 2 matches, which was for some fucking reason, but I'm not going to complain. It was Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles. And you know what? I'm going to complain. Actually, I got nothing because Sami Zayn won and everything's right with the world. This is another match where I guess if I'm going to stretch a complaint, they shouldn't, God, AJ just takes so many losses. Sami needs a win more than anyone, but Sami is over as fuck. Sami is doing important shit. AJ is not doing important shit, so the right person won this match. The stone cold sober Uso, I hope anyway. Solo Aaron Solo Sequoia, I don't know. I know his name, but Us the Third was out there with them, and I like the relationship they're having. It makes me care about him so. I already care about him more than both the Usos because he's interacted with Sami. He does have a good record against AJ. Yeah, you're right. The Intercontinental title feud with hey, I'll compliment Jeff right now, bro. Being handcuffed, you're gauged to a fucking ladder. That's pretty dope. That's an innovative spot. You got to be a pill addict to do it, but props to him. Putting that addiction to good use. Boy. Eric, can we write a script about a drug addict? Anyway. good match, fun stuff. Crowd was super into Sammy. One of the only people that was like more than the basic level of over on this show. Uh, and that's just nice to see. And that's why he was there. You got to have the Canadian boys, you know. No, I get that, Eric, but like, one with the more scathing jokes, I guess, about the addict. But anyway, you have the Canadian boys in Canada. It makes sense, especially when ultimately the goal of the Sami Zayn story is to get him over as the mega baby face we all used to view him as, and then some. So of course you put him out here, and that's the beauty of this right now, because we've said it before in this podcast, but we love when heels and faces interact, and that's what's happening now. Except Sami Zayn doesn't know he's a face yet, and it's beautiful. We know Sami Zayn is a face. He doesn't, and that's awesome. So that means all of his interactions with these heels are that much more interested, because there's a dynamic that we see and they don't. In a sense, I guess, and you call it dramatic irony, but we see what they don't. So it's just very interesting to see, especially for a guy who, as much as I'm praising Aaron Soloskoya, dude has like no charisma. Like you could just see it. Like he has to have that tough guy face, so otherwise he's a blank slate of a human. Like, he looks dumb. Not as dumb as Jimmy Uso, hopefully. But, he has one of those, like, there's not much going on up there faces, but he's a tough son of a bitch, so it balances out. So interacting with Sammy is great for him, because Sammy is fucking spilling charisma all over the place. Everyone he's interacted with has just been better for interacting with him. Hell, we all loved face Brock Lesnar. A lot of that started with him interacting with Sami Zayn and the great interactions they were having. Not that Brock isn't great in his own, because Brock is a great face and we've all just slept on him. But, Sammy is just, he's the right guy to have. Being associated with the bloodline is great for a solo, but being associated with Sammy will have so much more long-term benefits for him. So good for him. There's nothing that NXT 2.0 could teach him that he won't learn better from Sammy or Roman. Not the Usos. But, yeah, good stuff. Fun match. You have the Canadian boys winning Canada. Great stuff. No complaints here, and it serves a greater purpose. Even though it's a small, insignificant thing that will be forgotten about and probably never be mentioned. Maybe it gets mentioned on SmackDown and never again. In the grand scheme of things, the match will never be talked about again. So that's why I'm going on about it a little longer here. But anyway, finally, I think we have the main event. It's probably a backstage segment. And yeah, Candice is going to face Dakota Kai next week, which means she's going to beat Dakota Kai, which means you just keep beating your fucking champions, or you beat the person who just returned. Either way, it's a lose-lose. Don't do these things, Vince. What are you doing? I don't get it. Triple V, what are you doing out there? Fucking people aren't expendable with wins and losses, man. Like, you can't beat them all the time. You gotta give people wins. Dakota Kai needs to win matches. Winning the titles wasn't enough, especially when you lost the first time. You lost to Raquel on SmackDown, and now you're gonna lose to Candice on Raw. Match should be great. I hope they give it 15 minutes. That match will fucking rock. God damn it, I'm already upset about a loss that hasn't even happened yet. But, whatever. What a weird interaction they had backstage, Whose birthday was it? Was it Asuka's birthday? Or they were singing happy birthday. I don't know. Weird stuff going on. But, main event was Matthew Riddle, Mr. 420 Blaze it himself, smoke weed every day, versus Damian Priest, a guy who should be voicing movie trailers. Maybe he's not the best promo, but his voice is so deep and so smooth. He should talk more, He should narrate things. He should narrate video packages at the start of pay-per-views, Also, Riddle, for a stoner, not that chill of a guy, really, considering all the shit he's gotten into and all the shit he's talked and all the fights and shit. he gets into it with people. You're not a stereotypical stoner, bro. Like, stoners don't go picking fights like that. Like, yeah, I agree, Goldberg's not a good wrestler, but he has his value. He's a star. Him spearing the shit out of Dolph Ziggler 5 times at that SummerSlam was great. You know, that's a stoner wouldn't do that. A stoner would be like, Goldberg's bald, and that would be it. And you know what? Goldberg is bald, so fair enough. But anyway, it took on Damian Priest, and we're friends, and we're gonna kind of acknowledge that, even though it's never really been seen on TV, and it's more like, if you follow us on Instagram, you know that type of thing. And this would be more interesting if they were really going after Riddle, like, Rhea and Damian are like his two best friends back there, and they could lean into that more. They did a little bit like 2 weeks ago, but what are you gonna do? Match was fine. Riddle won with a roll up, which this is technically one of the few times where a roll up is an appropriate finish. Because, Priest is massive, and he's already taken a loss or two recently. And Judgment Day always takes losses, but, if you want to protect him a little bit, it's okay for him to lose via roll up. But it's WWE, and roll ups are forever tainted. And they need to not have roll up finishes for 8 months for me to accept one without that feeling in the back of my throat, back of my head, bottom of my stomach, wherever I feel like having emotions at the time. They're overdone. They're ruined. I hate them. It's almost poured over into AEW, where if they have a roll-up finish, I'm like, I don't like that. So they've really delegitimized a legitimate finish to a match that protects people. But this match wasn't about that. It was about the post-match, and they start beating Riddle up for winning. Like, they're so... You have 3 people out there. You can't win the match. Like, what's wrong with you? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Yes, the roll-up is the most powerful finisher in WWE, and that's why I hate it, because it's fucking OP. It's bullshit. I'm so sick of it. Like, maybe in NXT they did some where I didn't mind, because NXT was its own thing, and hey, Triple H is trying to turn NXT, or the main roster into NXT, but we're not there yet. So I don't want to see one for like 5 years. I said 8 months before, but now I feel like 5 years, and I'll meet in the middle. 2 years, 11 months. Okay, and without roll-up finishes, and then we can go back to it. Let's get rid of it for a while. Let's just send it away. But anyway, they're beating him down, and then oh my God, it's the White Rabbit, the Blue Eyes White Rabbit himself came out. No, it was just Edge. It wasn't a big deal. It's just Edge return. It's only been 2 years since Edge returned from his career-ending injury, where he was gone for 9 years, and he's returned like 8 times since then, to the point where I'm numb to it, where I'm just like, Edge is back, whatever. And I feel bad for that. I feel bad for feeling that way, but that's where we're at. He is back again, so at least we don't have to worry about him being the White Rabbit after his stupid return vignettes from the last time he returned a month ago. So that's at least done with. He lays him out, he spears Finn, and he gets on the mic, he's all serious. He's like, yeah, you try to like get rid of me, try to take me out, but I come back. I always come back, even if it takes me 9 years. And this time, I get to come back in Edmonton. And it just killed the seriousness of this promo, because it was so forced. And he lost all the passion in his voice when he said Edmonton, as if that's his least favorite part of Canada, which, hell, maybe it is. I don't think all Canadians like every part of Canada. They probably, obviously Quebec has a superiority complex over the rest of Canada, so I'm sure there's other parts where they just don't like each other. It ruined the intensity of the promo for me completely. It took him out, and then he challenged Finn to a match at Extreme Rules, and he hyped it up in a way like in a first time ever match, which would be great if Finn didn't lose all the fucking time. God damn. But in an I Quit match, so Extreme Rules is looking good. You got a ladder match. I don't like one-on-one ladder matches, but this really isn't a one-on-one ladder match. It is a 6-person or 3-on-3 ladder match. with Bailey and the Huggers versus Bianca, Alexa, and Asuka, because they will all be out there and they will all be getting involved. So that's good. That's the best way to have a one-on-one ladder match because they don't make sense to me. They're illogical to me. They should be over in like 10 minutes at most. But we got the Fight Pit match, which is going to be garbage, but fun, hopefully. We got the I Quit match. Is Roman having a match? Probably not. Don't really care. Maybe the Usos. Well, I don't know. I don't know what else is going to be on the card, but at least there's some variety. I'm glad there's a ladder match and we're not just holding off for TLC. That's nice. I'm glad there's variety with the Fight Pit, even if I think it's probably going to be stupid. So there's a lot to look forward to. Edge versus Finn is good. It is good. Edge needs to lose. I'm so sick of Edge winning everything. He wins all the fucking time. All he does is win. That's my problem. That's where my problem really lies, is that he hasn't put anyone over. He even won the feud with Seth Rollins. He didn't put over Roman. Roman gave him the rub by being in a match with him because Roman's above Edge. Roman's a bigger star than Edge ever was. And I like Edge 100 times more than I've ever liked Roman, but I can admit that because I'm not delusional despite all of this. So Edge hasn't done anything to make anyone better since he came back. And that's been my gripe with a lot of people. Is you got to make people better. And he was starting to do that with Judgment Day until, that fell apart. Yeah, the fight pit, I'm sure it was cool. That was the time I wasn't really watching it as much. But I'm sure it's cool. But, like, doing a fake version of a real fight in a predetermined sport, it's just, I don't like it. I don't like the idea of it. I already don't like the sound of it, so the execution of it has to be like immaculate for me to come around to it. But maybe it'll be better than I thought. Maybe it'll be better than I thought, but interested to see if Triple H Extreme Rules will be a little edgier than Vince. I'm sure it will. I'm sure there'll be blood, even though he said he doesn't want to do it. I'm sure he's going to allow one or two spots, or maybe the accidental one will happen, because it happened on this show like twice, I think. So it can happen. And then we have more White Rabbit teases, and there's nothing substantial here, but except for now it's Malachi Black, which would be garbage. But yeah, I'm interested to see what Triple H has up his sleeve for this pay-per-view. I do think he will have. Oh God, fucking damn it, Rev! You just Rev wins the chat. Rev wins the chat. Good job, buddy. You won. That's great. Top tier chat there. But I think it'll be a lot different. I think there'll be some great spot. I think there'll be a lot of like I don't want to say OMG moments, but more like gasp spots where the audience will be like, oh my God. And I think a match, like people will be stretchered off. There'll be Extreme Rules matches where there's actually selling and extreme consequences where the person might have to be taken out in an ambulance or carried out or sell an injury the next day. So I do think there will be a substantial difference in presentation and just the feel of it, honestly. But we'll see. I'm gonna go. Everyone, go to bed. As we always say, when we get to 400, everyone who loses should be out for like 3 weeks or so. Except the people in the Fight Pit match, because get the fuck out of here. But anyway, everyone, go to bed. Be nice. Be nice to waitresses. Be kind to animals. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and fucking text, honestly. But that's more for like personal reasons. You shouldn't do that because you feel like you'll do something dumb as much as you won't hurt anyone else. But good luck out there. We got big things coming. We got a wrap coming out. Chad has a surprise for our next milestone after the 420 subscriber mark, where Rev, you're here now, but when we hit 420 subscribers, 2 of us are going to do the Dynamite Review Stone, but we're not saying who. We want it to be a surprise. So yeah, Chad's going to tell you, he's going to tell you what the next milestone is after that. That's coming up soon. We got stories in the work. We're going places here, baby, all right? We're fucking big time. God, going to this fucking supermarket today, it was insane. I was talking to Fat Joe the other day. He was in my store, and I was just like, man, dude, I don't know how you walk around like this all the time, man. It's got to be exhausting being recognized all the time, you know. And he was like, yeah, man, just lean back. And I was like, all right, cool. Don't drink and drive. Be nice to animals. Get the fuck out of my YouTube.